Hello, good afternoon. This is Tiffany Belfield Elamine, one part of the Farm to Table team here at Community Farm Alliance, and I'm here with my teammate, Lori White, and we're going to have a quick conversation about the cover relief for Black farmers. This was a conversation that began when we had our 2021 Black Farmers Meetup, and we decided to put it all together to make it very easy for all our Black farmers to be able to access information about the new pots of money that are here in 2021. So the three major pots of money right now are the debt relief and other provisions of the American Rescue Plan. That was a big thing with USDA. And then we have the CFAP 2, which is the coronavirus funding. And then you also have the Paycheck Protection Program, also known as the PPP Loan.
So we're going to start talking about the American Rescue Plan and its provisions for farmers of color. It was a huge amount of money that was dedicated in that piece of legislation, but there are really narrow parameters around what that money is set aside for. So there's $5 billion of $6 billion altogether that are set aside for debt relief for farmers of color. And it's very narrowly specifically for FSA loans and loans that are backed by the USDA. And that will be for the amount that was owed as of January 1st of 2021. And unlike in the Pigford versus Glickman settlement, there's no need to prove discrimination in this. It should just be automatic. There's no application for farmers to access this debt relief. It's just if you have debt with FSA as of January 1st, FSA is going to initiate the process for this debt relief to happen. Now, one thing that we've learned is that the way that they'll know who of their borrowers are farmers of color is by this particular form that has to be filled out, the AD 2047. And if you see down in the bottom left-hand corner, there's check boxes to mark race. And so if this form isn't on file with FSA, then farmers may get missed out of this process. But the good news is that this form can be filled out at any time. So if you have debt to FSA or USDA for a farm loan, get with your FSA lender and make sure that you've got this form on file with them. Now we know that if you were discriminated against, you probably might not have a loan with FSA or USDA. So there's some other ways to access some of this money that we're going to talk about. Now there was another $1 billion set aside for farmers of color in the American Rescue Plan, and not all of that has been decided yet how it's going to be used, but we know that 5% has been reserved for outreach, 5% for grants or loans for clearing up heirs property, and 0.5% that's reserved for formation of an equity commission that's going to examine all of USDA programs and whether they're being accessed equitably. Now, the remainder of that $1 billion is still being decided how it's going to be allocated. So another program that started right in the beginning of the pandemic last year was the CFAP program, the Coronavirus Food Assistance Program. It's a terrible name, but it's direct payments to farmers for crops and livestock. The first version had a lot of limitations and didn't apply very well to lots of small-scale or diversified farms. CFAP 2 was an improvement on that. You can see in the box on the right here, this wheel, there's been over 32,000 farms in Kentucky that have received funding through CFAP 2. And if you look at the list on the right there, by far cattle has been the largest funded commodity for Kentucky. Down in the bottom left corner, you can see an example of the payment rates for livestock. They're a per head basis. So if whatever your inventory was of livestock on that date, you get a per head payment. For specialty crops, CFAP 1 was really inaccessible for small scale growers. However, in CFAP 2, they calculated the payment for specialty crops based on your dollar sales instead of on acreage or yields. So any fruits and vegetables, cut flowers, nursery crops, all of those sales, a total dollar amount, you get a percentage payment for those. So, for example, up to almost $50,000 in sales of specialty crops, you would get almost a 10% payment, or a little over a 10% payment for whatever your sales were in that category. Now, there were some changes this year to CFAP 2 when they reopened it, and Tiffany's going to tell you about those.
So the big thing is that everybody who was qualified in CFAP 1 will be qualified in CFAP 2 as well. There's a few little changes that everybody should be aware of. For one, contract producers now qualify. For most of our small, medium-sized farmers, Black farmers, we don't have a lot of contract producers here in Kentucky, but it's just something to realize, because as CFAP grows, it's understanding how the lens of Kentucky agriculture is and making sure that all our producers is getting some assistance. There's increased benefits for hog and pig producers. So those of you all who got money in CFAP 1, the ticket per head for hog and pigs has increased in CFAP 2. Also, the hens that are not laying eggs yet, those qualify as sales commodities, as well as the turf grass sod growers can use it as sales commodity as well in CFAP 2. And these were two big areas that were missed in CFAP 1. Another great thing to realize that we're being heard and we're still accessing resources to any type of producer here in Kentucky. The last pot of money is the PPP loan, the Paycheck Protection Program. The big difference between the 2020 PPP and the 2021 PPP is that farmers, small businesses, agribusinesses have more of a leeway with this program. Also, that if you use it on any eligible expenses on farm, agribusiness, it's 100% forgivable. Now, eligible expenses are your payroll, your owner compensation, your rent, your utilities, or any allowable deductible business expense. As long as you're spending that money on that, you will be forgiven. Another big deal that I found out was that seasonal farmers now qualify. So if you have farmed 12 consecutive weeks between February 15th, 2019 and February 15th, 2020, you qualify, which is a big deal because we have a lot of seasonal small farmers here in Kentucky. You can use your gross income now. That is a big change from 2020's PPP. Also, you can use Schedule C or Schedule F for tax documents, another good change for the PPP. Some of the factors that may make you ineligible are the same factors if you put a loan in anywhere. And that's if your farm business or farm is permanently closed. Somehow, some way it's listed permanent closed, you cannot qualify. If you have any delinquent or defaulted federal loans other than student loans, and this is a big deal because as we're working with USDA and the FSA, if it's a federal loan and like that, we can help you get those resources so you are prepared for the PPP program. And of course, if you have any criminal, illegal activity, or if you file for bankruptcy, just like with any other bank loan, it could make you ineligible. The SBA.gov link has direct access to a lot of helpful links and tips and lenders. Myself as a farmer, I went through Womply through SBA, that's WOMPLY.com. Also SmartBiz, SmartBiz.com, another lender that is working directly with the SBA. So we have captured a lot of information. And if you need help with any of it, questions, explanations, knowing who your person to go to for FSA or USDA in your county, please reach out to us. I'm Tiffany, and that's Lori, and these are our personal cell phone numbers. You can call, text us at any time. If you have our emails, email us, because we want to make sure that you're getting full accessibility to these resources. Another part to this beautiful ending is the link below our names. That's the Kentucky Farmer Needs Assessment. This information helps us do what we do and make sure that you all are getting everything you need to be successful as a farmer in Kentucky. So please reach out, please connect. We hope to see you all in the next farmers meetup that will be happening soon. And we'll continue to do technical assistance and workshops like this. If you have any suggestions for us to put out, give us a call, send us an email, and we'll make sure that you all get informed. Thanks.